Hey guys, it's Kate and I hope you're having a fantastic day today. I came with my DeDeDe Praise watercolor palette that I got on my Temu haul a long time ago, and I wanted to play around with it today. And so I broke out some paper and I'm just going to start dipping straight into this color. And it's going to be a nice watery mix, and these were advertised as being metallic colors, but there's not a lot of metallic going on here. But as far as the pigment itself, you can see how bright it is when it goes down on the paper, which is really a pleasure to paint with. And there's some spreading and just some very rich pigment here that is almost opaque, and the paint in the pan is very thick. And I haven't really played with this in quite a while, so I'm kind of excited to get in here today and just move around some color. So I'm just dipping straight into the pan and picking some colors that seem interesting. All of the colors in this palette are numbered, and so I don't have color names, but so far I have dipped into 19, 12, and now I am in 24. This is the 24 color palette from Temu, and I've had it, I'm sorry to say, a very long time, and I don't pull it out enough. But I'd like to start using it more and use up that color and just have some fun. I'm going to go back into this 19 and make some more marks. I really love that blue, and one of the reasons I bought this palette was because all of the colors in it have just this wonderful kind of earthiness to them, and they are also pretty granulating, and so that's fun to work with as well. And you'll be able to see once it dries, it'll have a lot more granulation than some of the other watercolors that I work with. I come back into this purple again and just add it to a few spots. I've got water kind of sitting on my page a little bit, and it's giving me some extra playtime with these colors. You can kind of see them just sort of dancing around the page a little bit. Now I'm thinking I might do one of these yellows, probably number 1, and I'm just gonna get a little bit in here on the pan mixed up. I'm gonna put in a few little splashes, just like this, and it's almost like gold on the paper. It's really pretty. All right. Let's do this number 22, which is a bit of a silvery gray. I'm going to come in with a little bit of that just around the edges, I think. Maybe a little up there and through here. And it's kind of pretty when it mixes with these other colors too. I'm just letting it kind of feather out a bit and adding some organic type edge marks to this painting here. I might even let my brush drag a little bit for some dry brushing, maybe over here too, and just spread it out and let that paint kind of move and catch on that roughness of the paper. And I like that. I'm going to continue that. I think maybe have some going in this direction. Get a little bit more water on my brush. And maybe add some of that gold down here. Yeah. Really rough up those sides. Why not? Let's do a couple more splashes with this purple, maybe mixed with whatever's left of that gold in my tray. And it's pretty to see it kind of mix in with some of those dry brush areas too. This is a really pretty and dark background. So I'm going to let this dry and we will be back in a few minutes. Okay, my painting is dry completely and I thought I would come in here with some colored pencils and possibly my pen, and we'll just see. I want to do some mark making and I kind of see some flowers in here when I turn it this way. So I'm just going to run with it and do another sketch. And I'm going to kind of turn this into a bit of a box, just like this. And I'm just going to kind of gently do some outlining and shading. And we're going to go from there and just go over this watercolor. And since I have some naturally darker color on this side, we're going to have our light coming from the top left down this way. And I'm just going to run with it. And I'm going to enhance some of this shadowy area here and underneath what I like to call the greenery. And I'm working with a dark purple colored pencil. And I'm just letting this kind of come in and add some more texture here. Just like that. And I'm even going to come in with some green and just really embrace the color. All right. And I'm going to add some marks just to add some texture where it almost looks like we have some leaves. And I'm just going to add some greenish marks there. And it's not going to be any shapes specifically, just some lines that kind of let us know what's going on. I'm going to get more of a warmer green that's more of an olive tone that will blend more with this watercolor. And I'm going to shade some, color some in, and just let this be nice and sketchy. And I might have a little bit come out like that, but mostly we're just adding some lines. All right, I'm going to grab my purple and kind of outline some of these flower petals. And just let these sort of be outlined here. And I might even come in with a very dark color, maybe with this brown. And we'll kind of have a bit of a flower center here. Just like that. And I'm just adding these hard marks in here at some random places just to give it some texture. And it's where I see these natural curves. And you can kind of see these flowers kind of taking shape. I'm going to add some more leaf marks here. Maybe we'll have one kind of coming out this way. And it's all to give us some better idea of what this is. I'm going to grab my jelly roll here and start adding in some bright colors. So I think here we'll have a bit of whiteness in the center from a flower, and I'm just going to have some little marks kind of coming out like that. I'm just going to add some gentle centers here. And what I was going to make, I don't know, some little things before my pen stopped working. I'm going to see if I can just sort of wipe those back a little bit and kind of remove those marks. And I think I did pretty well. So I'm going to come back in with this jelly roll and just really embrace these petal shapes. This will kind of be our sort of major flower. Okay, so I'm just kind of going around, following some of the natural outlines where my paint was, and so we're just going to get a nice little bunch of flowers. And this is just sort of soaking in. That's one thing that I had with this Lottie Dottie chalk marker is over acrylic, it's really wonderful. Over watercolor, it just kind of sinks right into the paper and doesn't really leave a lot of color. But I'll do what I can. And I'm just adding just these random little outlines to add some flower petal highlights. I've got some texture in here from my colored pencils. Posca, if Posca can't do it, nothing can. This is better. I should have gone to this in the first place. All right, I think now we're cooking. All right, now we got some highlights going on. So I'm just going around randomly and adding in these little flower marks so that we can get a nice bouquet going with that, the shapes of the flowers. And so I'm just kind of going through here and adding in those outlines in some of the areas. And I really like how this is shaping up. And this is just a few little marks. And I'm going to add just a little highlight to my box. And let's see, we want any other shapes in here? Maybe a couple little dots for some of the centers. Maybe like that. Now I'm going to go into my Posca pen again because that is the only thing working on this. So I highly recommend. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with some of these leaves. And I'm going to be very sparing because this is a pretty dark pen. And I'm just going to go into where we were making some of those marks before. And again, just kind of putting it in randomly just to add that contrast and some texture. And these are just basically a bunch of lines, just like this. And I think this is shaping up to be pretty good. All right, I'm going to add some more dark on this side. And I'm just going to kind of highlight this box. Just like that. And let's see, maybe we can add a couple of dark centers to a few of these flowers. And I'm just using the same green. And I might actually come in and just fill in this kind of big white blob a bit. Because I don't think you'd have that much kind of poking through. And actually, I'm just going to even go into my watercolor. I have some kind of behind me, and I'm just going to add some color there too. And I really love this. Let me give you a close-up. I love how the colored pencil added in the millions of white markers we tried today that didn't seem to want to work. And then we got these wonderful flower outlines and highlights and leaf patterns from the beautiful Posca pen. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comments below if you have similar troubles with your marking pens on top of watercolor and what has worked for you. Until next time, keep creating, and thank you so much for watching. Have a good day, guys.